Hey there, StarCraft fans! Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Remastered today on Polestar. Gonna be Flash giving an eyebrow raise to Rain. Top right, hey, it's Rain. Bottom right, it is a Flash. They're talking to each other in Korean here. There's the Korean. And gonna be a PVT for your Patreon cast of the week. If you're watching this on patreon.com/Falcon Paladin, the week of March the 25th, 2026. Thank you for supporting me out there for at least as $1 a month. This is the best way to support me on a monthly basis. Patreon takes 0.001% of your donation, so most of it goes to me instead of overhead onto the Patreon site, which I appreciate a lot. And again, thanks for supporting me out there for as little as $1 every month. 60 cents, man. All right, so let's go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe as well if you're watching this on the YouTube channel in April 2026 or later. And we got a hallucinated Kikaru flying around. We have no proxies coming up. Let's see how much respect they have for each other right now. They know who the other player is. And Flash, again, is in ASL 21 at the time of this recording. By the time most people see this, it'll be April 2021 or 2026. And maybe Flash got knocked out. I don't know. I don't think he will be out at that point. But who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Certainly not me. There's a gateway inside the base. There's going to be a Rax coming up inside the base as well. Very respectful openings here. No proxies, no weird cannon rushing, just a respectful, there we go, gateway and then gas from Rain. Rax and then gas here from Flash. Rain is pretty much the most consistent finisher in ASL for the last 5 to 6 years. Well, and Protoss, anyway. Protoss finisher. That is an important thing to specify. So he is very dangerous. He knows how to play PvT. Scout in the right direction here is Steve the SCV. Protoss, your days are numbered. Short rush distance, and Flash is over there. Scouting you early. Do we see each other? I don't think we saw each other there. Interesting. SCV says, no sign of Protoss yet. Ah! Protoss! There it is! Get away, Protoss. Cybernetic score coming up, scouting that as well. Again, sign of respect, Cybercore before expand. Is it going to be range before expand? That is the ultimate sign of respect. Also a sign of pressure. Factory on the way before expanding as well. That is the ultimate sign of respect from Terran players. So both players, again, super respectful PvT. Not saturating the gas. Interesting stuff here. Which means it's going to be Vultures early. We've got Marines getting out of there with the probe's life is Rain. Excellent micro there. We've got a partial engineering bay block here. Well, it is an engineering bay block, but it's not a full engineering bay being built here because you can cancel it. Ah. SCV. Ooh. We are getting a range before expanding. Was that the plan, or is that because there is a SCV building an engineering bay in your natural base, Rain? We may never know. Range for Dragoons on the way well before expanding. We've got a bunker here because he knows range is on the way, so the bunker is a good thing to get for Dragoons, and then we're going to expand. And 400 minerals cannot come too soon for Flash. Cast a Flash versus Shuttle game a couple weeks ago on the channel. If you missed that one, you should check it out. It's a great, great, great match. Like, highly, highly sought-after style match there. So, bunker up. Dragoon says, nope. It's on Ringing Bloom, by the way. Super fantastic. So, expansion, yes. Expansion, yes. We're getting gas yet? We're getting gas yet. Because we're getting a machine shot. Makes a lot of sense. Need gas for that. But for a minute there, went up to, 21 SCVs. 21 probes on the other side of the map here, too. No big deal. And let's get a Spider Mine upgrade. Can be used defensively. Can be used offensively, too. There's the Robo. Can be used defensively. Can be used offensively, too. Both these players keeping their options open, right? We can throw Spider Mines down just on top of Dragoons while we're attacking. We can use that as a defensive move as well. Observatory from the Robo. Defensive. Not very offensive, right? But from the Robo as well, we can get Reavers and Shuttles, which are offensive tools. Sometimes defensive, but usually offensive. If you're defending with Reavers, I kind of feel like you're done. At least against Terran, right? With siege tanks and stuff. Defending with Reavers against Zerg is pretty much okay, and Protoss too. So just, you know, pacing back and forth here is this Dragoon. Shoving it away here are these 2 Marines and this tank. Everything is A-okay. Speed's on the way. Delaying siege mode here is Flash. And pushing across. Oh, into the spider mine? No! This Dragoon is dead. He doesn't know yet, but he's dead. Wow, skirting past that spider mine. He didn't see that. He did not see that. He just felt like, potential spider mine locations right here. Right? That's the path a Dragoon will take if we just right-click up here from down here. So he's like, I'm smart. Let's avoid that. And he did. Good job, Rain. So, spider mining a potential 3rd base here on Polestar. And any sign of Reavers? Not yet. Terran breathes a sigh of relief at that statement. No Reavers at all available yet to the Protoss. Missile turrets here, preparing for a drop. But there's not going to be a drop. Is there going to be an observatory? Of course there is. There's spider mines out. Observatory done. Observers out. So we can clear out these spider mines. But yeah, this is a masterclass in delaying Protoss by Flash, right? Engineering Bay block. Spider mines at the 3rd. Spider mines all over the place. Again, a nice delay tactic as well. Siege mode on the way, and an armory too. So upgrades here from Flash. No real surprises in this PvT yet. But again, delaying the 2nd base, delaying the 3rd base. This is how you play TVP Flash style. And oh, spider mine sniping the probe. Running right past those Dragoons and sniping a probe, delaying the base even further. Even further. This is ridiculous stuff here from Flash. He is taking Rain apart. Oh my gosh, more probes down. Another probe dies. Still delaying the 3rd. The spider mine isn't there, but there's no probe there. Because again, the first 3 or 4 probes we sent across are all dead now. Imagine being a probe saying, hey, wait, I thought you sent probes out there to expand. And then the adjudicator's like, yeah, we did. They're fine. How about you go expand now? And he's like, what? Why? Why do I have to expand? Yeah, they're dead. There's vulture sniping happening there. There's the Robo Bay. So 7.5 minute Robo Bay. Not the fastest Reaver drop in the history of mankind, but you got to get a 3rd base out, right? Especially if your 2nd is late and your 3rd is late, you got to get it up. Can't just be too late on this whatsoever. But factory count is 3. Indicates maybe an attempt at an expand here from Flash. He's got siege mode. He's got Charon boost. He's got turrets up earlier than he needs them, but better early than late when it comes to Reaver drops. Hardwalling against the vultures. Like, it's almost like you don't want us in there killing you. And the probe says, yeah, that's not the idea. I think that's how that works. He's going to shuttle a couple Dragoons and lift them, put them inside the 3rd so they can defend the wall from the other side against these vultures. Could do that. Although, I don't know. Doesn't seem really necessary, right? The vultures don't want to attack these pylons anyway. Maybe if they had +2 or +3 attack, they would, but they're just now working on +1. So Dragoon count, nice and hefty. Giving themselves no attack or armor upgrades here as Rain. Yeah, see, then the vultures come up here. They get pinned in and die. Probe transfer was a little bit reckless. A couple probes died for no reason, but the vultures died. And you know what? If you can kill the vultures and lose a couple probes, you're probably feeling all right about that. Map control belongs to the Protoss now. There are spider mines, but there's Dragoons with range. There are observers. Everything is fine. Fine and dandy. Shuttle speed is on the way. 2nd Reaver in production. 1st Reaver is here. Somewhere. There it is. Out there. And there's your 3rd base. Yep. So 4 factories. Taking out his own egg. Just to avoid misclicks there. It's there for walling off against Zerg. There's no Zerg in this map. There's a scan, though. Checks. He's like, is there Reaver tech? There is. Is there a Citadel of Adun? There also is. Also, that exists. Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum. So I'm liking this from Flash. Again, delay the 2nd, delay the 3rd. 4th base, kind of a little cheeky here from Rain. Reavers. Yeah, that's the problem is. Nice snipe of a tank there. Whew, took a shot. Could afford to do it. These Reavers are generally okay. A little bit injured, but otherwise fine. But yeah, third base rocking and rolling here from Flash. Zealot legs are on the way. That's going to be a big part of this too, for sure. +1 attack is done for the mech, and the +1 is not even done for the Protoss because it wasn't on its way earlier. We mentioned that. We noted that. Vultures out on the map, checking to make sure no probes heading this way. No Dragoons making a cheeky counterattack down towards the third. There's Spider Mines covering that attack path anyway. And scouting it with the Spider Mines. Oh, yeah, sieging up. The Reavers go, ow, ow. SCV takes a shot, doesn't die, gets pulled away at the last second, builds a supply depot to screw up the pathing on those Scarabs, as you usually do. So Flash says, let's make more factories. 2, 4, 6, 7 of them here. Well, almost 7, but he's got the third base up. That's how this works. The more bases you have, the more factories you want. Storm's on the way. Gate, 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 gate. Bum, bum, bum. Zealots clearing out Spider Mines with their very tough zealoty bodies. We love to see that from them. And Rain's heading down this way, and Flash decides it's time to go now up this way. So passing in the night, Rain says, wait. Hold on a minute. You don't get to go over there without me. Drop in the Zealots on the tanks. They've got that speed upgrade. They don't have an attack upgrade yet. The Vultures are getting really good damage on those Zealots, clearing them out quite nicely. Oh, Reaver dies. High ground siege tanks getting some work there too, obviously. And suddenly, Terran's like, yeah, you know what? You 2 Dragoons, you want to try to kill me? Go right ahead. You can't. Let's head up this way. Psystorm is not done yet. And it really should be done yet. Zealots on their own against all these Vultures. They killed a tank for like 6 Zealots. That's never good. Oh, and then Raid! GG's out. Flash gets the win. All right, tell you what. I'll tack another Rain versus Flash game to the end of this one because it was fine. It was interesting, right? The delay was great. The delay on the natural and the third was really good. The timing on his third was great. The upgrade timing was fantastic. The production capabilities, the Spider Mines, chasing the Dragoons into the Spider Mines earlier was fantastic. And then recognizing he's getting flanked by a Dragoon attack at the same time, being able to pull up, deal with it easily, and then head up to the Protoss base. And Storm's not even done yet. Yeah, Rain struggling in that one, but that was just well executed from Flash from start to finish. So we'll toss another Flash versus Rain game on the end there. So I hope you enjoy that one. But yeah, thanks for being a patron of mine if you're watching this in March of 2021. Love ya. Thanks for the support. And let's take a look at this final score. What do we got? 49,000 to 48,000 total points there in favor of Rain, but he lost. He got outproduced. He outkilled. These numbers are looking okay for a Protoss, but the larger problem is that the outspend in 12 minutes was just not there. 200 additional resources spent in 12 minutes. Yeah, the delays really came into play there. So that's a GG. Let's check out that second game here. But yeah, if you're not going to stick around for that, that's going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself. Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, it's going to be a match between Flash and Snow here on Fighting Spirit. Got a lot of people watching, so many that we need to lift off our command centers for the couple of observers and kill your own SCVs. All right, so bottom right on Fighting Spirit, we have Flash. And in the top, bottom left, we have Snow. So a TVP on Fighting Spirit. 1 survived of the SCVs for, let's see here, Suxry, and 1 SCV survived for Miso. Maybe they'll come into play, maybe they won't. All right, man. So it's going to be a TVP here for your Tuesday. Hit that like button if you're excited for Flash versus Snow. I know that I am. This is an RGB replay, as is usual these days. Go ahead and check out RGB TV on the YouTubes. Leave a comment, tell them the Falcon sent you. And let's go ahead and get right on into it. Okay, so there are not very many openings that are viable in TVP. If you don't get your factory out fast, you're going to get inundated with Dragoons and no way to kill them. And if you don't get out your Cybernetics core fast, you'll be inundated with Vultures and tanks with no way to defend yourself against them. So, that is why we don't see command centers first, or nexuses first, or gateway and then nexus, or barracks and then command center. It is a very, very bad idea to do those things. If Flash doesn't do it, if Snow doesn't do it, you should not do it either. Rush to factory, rush to Cybernetics core and Dragoons, and you will be safe. Safe as can be when you're playing against Flash, that is for sure. So let's see what's going on here. Let's see what kind of a game we have in store for this play. I mean, like I said, the first couple minutes are just going to be, hey, look, it's a cyber core. Hey, look, the barracks is almost done, and we don't have enough gas for a factory. Actually, this refinery is a bit late to go right into factory, so we're going to get a couple Marines, get a bunker out, and then get a factory as soon as we can. That's going to be the play here. Pylon, making a Zealot first. Not that it's going to be useful against actual army units, but pretty darn good against this SCV. At least we'll hit it hard, if it can catch it, which maybe it can't. So anyway, wait, we're not on Fighting Spirit. I'm an idiot. What did I called this Fighting Spirit because I made an assumption. This is not Fighting Spirit at all. Shoot, I know what this is. We just cast a game on this map, and I have no idea what the name of it is. I'll go back and I'll figure it out. It'll be in the title, but I won't be saying it in the cast because I can't remember what it is. Neato completo. So Zealot moving out, but by the way, like I said, there's a bunker and a couple Marines in there, and then factory, bam. Factory up, no expansion. You'll notice. Zealot gonna do a run by? Okay, all right. Taking some damage there, but now it's to fight against 3 Marines who are faster than it is. Plus they are ranged, and the benefit that the Zealot has is that it, doesn't take a ton of damage from a Marine burst of gunfire, which is, yeah, they're pretty tough that way. You can shoot at them with a gun, and they're like, bring it, but then they'll die because eventually, little bits of damage add up to a lot of damage, and then you're dead. So what else? A Dragoon is moving out. Singularity charge is on the way. The Marines have about 2 seconds to get to this bunker, and they made it. They made it. Ooh, taking a lot of health off of Snow's Dragoon Bab. Scouting around SCV, trying to see where on earth this... No, he knows. What are you going up there for? He was here scouting just a second ago. What is this SCV doing? I don't know why he was up there at all. Maybe checking for a crazy ninja expand, but no. Expansion coming up here just fine. Again, once the Dragoons are out, you feel safe to expand. And then once you got your factory up and ready to rock, and you're getting machine shop, that is when it is safe to expand as well. Build orders. Early build orders matter a lot. Like, I'm serious. You could, here's the thing. If you had Flash versus Snow, and he took an amateur and put him at Flash's keyboard and said, okay, you do the stuff for the first 5 minutes, and then Flash plays after that, I think Flash loses. I just don't think there's any way he can win because the first 5 minutes are so important. If at 5 minutes we don't have a second base, we don't have upgrades coming, right? We don't have anything out of the machine shop, for example, then Flash is just going to lose. He's just too far behind. His economy is not going to be as good because the amateur is not going to be consistently pumping out SCVs like you need to be able to. So anyway, good stuff here from both players. Pretty darn standard play, if I do say so myself. And Siege Tank pushing out a little bit. Once the tank shows up, then the Dragoon has to back out a little bit. If there were 4 or 5 Dragoons, sure, they could jump on the tank and kill it, but that's not what we're doing here. We have 2 back home defending. We have 1 across the map, harassing the crap, trying to harass the crap out of this bunker, but the tank, again, shooing it away. SCV comes in and says, I didn't get any information. All I know is there's 2 Dragoons out here. I don't know if there's a base right here or not at the natural base locale. All right, man, what are we up to? Observatory, just worried about spider mines, which is a fair thing to be concerned about because spider mines are really good in all matchups, actually. Not as good in TVT, but against Zerg and Protoss, yeah, spider mines are something you're going to want to have. All right, comstats, just in case it's a sneaky DT play here from Snow, which it doesn't seem to be, but is always a bit on the table. You could start up a Citadel of Adun here pretty quickly and get DTs out in not a super long amount of time. Yeah, whatever. Working on an armory. Getting them upgrades. Academies here just for the comsat, not much of anything else. Machine shop is still quiet, which tells me maybe this is going to be like a marine tank push without siege. That could be interesting. It could be pretty devastating too. Marines and tanks together are pretty good against dragoons. Marines do more damage than you would expect, but there we go. Siege mode is now coming in. But that was after starting a second factory, after starting the +1 attack. Here from Flash. Intriguing. If I do say so myself. So Snow knows he's up against a legend here. He's going to see what he can pull off with these dragoons, at least set a contain up. But 4 tanks and a bunker with marines in it is a rough look, if that's what you're trying to kill here today. Yeah, okay, all right. We're in here, we're target firing, and 1 tank goes down, 2 tanks go down. Another dude pulls back that tank, it stays alive. A Goliath is providing extra DPS too, and tank dies, but dragoons are fallen by the 3s and 4s and 5s here. Was that a good trade? Well, as I always say, trading dragoons for tanks in the early game is totally worth. So I'm going to say yes. Snow did a good job there, whittling that tank count down immensely. There's only... Did this one die? Oh, I thought this one escaped. Okay, well, Flash is left with a single tank. That is actually pretty bad. So nice jump in there. Trading some dragoons to bring the tank count to 1 is excellent at this stage of the game. And we're working on actually a higher number of Goliaths than I would expect at this stage of the game. Usually you don't want to start sprinkling those in until you're looking at Arbiters, but I mean, I guess Arbiters are on the way because that's a Stargate and that's a Citadel of Dune, and Templar Archives is probably on the way fairly soon, and then you get the Arbiter Tribunal, but it's a ways off. Like, that's a lot of steps, right? What I just said. So maybe here to snipe observers, which is a little suspicious. Indicates that he doesn't want Snow to know what he's up to. Maybe this isn't just your traditional get on 3 bases and get 37 siege tanks and a sprinkling of vultures and Goliaths and go win, right? Well, there's a 3rd command center. So pretty standard stuff. And a 3rd nexus here from Snow as well. So, all right. This is all very, very good. I think Snow's in a pretty good space. His 3rd base is coming up before the Terrans is complete, and it's not in a place where it can just start mining immediately. It has to lift up and move. So probe transfer, main arting over the way to this 3rd base. We're getting vulture speed and spider mines. It is DTs. It is DTs first. We're getting DTs before we're worrying about arbiters. Yeah, that Arbiter Tribunal is not coming up. So we got a shuttle. We've got Dark Templar. How much energy are we saving on the comsat stations? 135 on the natural and 137 at the main. So that is a couple 4 scans total available, with more potentially available depending on when the DTs show up. There is an Arbiter Tribunal, but again, after the DTs started their construction or whatever they're doing, right? I guess they're warping in. Opening warp gate. So they're here to defend, but like there's vultures and stuff. So no, how did the vultures sneak over here? Where did they come from? I thought we were covering the front door, Snow. No? All right, Spider Mine just getting laid in random locations here. I mean, these vultures, 3 kills, 2 kills here. Probe count is dropping down to 50. Gonna get, yep, sub 50 there to 49. Oh my gosh, the destruction. The destruction is real. 57 to 49 workers is bad. And then another, just, okay, I guess they were just allowed to move out with the observer seeing them and nothing to really defend against it. So pull back. Don't let them in. Block it off. Get them dragoons. That's better. That is much better. That vulture got nothing done on that attempt. But, man, being down by 10 workers to flash at 2 bases is not great. 104 to 96 supply. Snow has a lead. And actually an army lead. No, it's about even. I would say an army supply based on doing some quick maths up there on the top right, which I do not... Like, I'm not going to claim they're perfect or anything. Yeah, so this, again, a weird little kind of sunken in the middle of a pit 3rd base. I've definitely cast games on this map before. I just don't remember what it's called. I just don't remember what it's called. Ah! Tanks firing, trying to get rid of the tanks if you're a Dragoon. And a DT is in the mix here too, but nope. Unsieged siege tanks handling those quite nicely, but are we trading? Are we trading optimally? The answer seems to be maybe. It's very close. 111 to 106 supply right now. 70 to 57 total workers. Vulture moving out again, trying to see what damage he can get done with his buddy just behind him. He's going to go for it. Oh my gosh, there's only one Dragoon here. I guess there's a cannon in this mineral line. I guess, okay, additional Dragoons are coming out. The third base is defended by a cannon too, so I think Snow's okay here. Well, okay, suddenly the siege tanks are across the map. And the coming from all different directions here is Snow. Can he focus the tanks down? The Vultures are not as much of a concern, but the tanks are. This is not going well for the Dragoons. They're trying their very, very best here, but no, that's it. The Dragoons get wiped out. That's your GG. Snow taps out. And if Flash is your winner here in about 11 minutes, 11 minutes and 47 seconds. Yeah, he knew. He knew. He went for the DT gamble. It didn't work out. It didn't get any damage over here on this side of the map at all. I guess it was down here that it was trying to get some stuff done. No, the Dragoons did nothing. And the tank count was too high. And the +1 attack was just early enough that it was a huge timing problem. As there were no upgrades at all for... Yeah, there were no upgrades at all yet for the Protoss. I would have seen those come through. I don't think... I mean, he has a forge because he has cannons, but I don't think it was working at all. So yeah, +1 making a huge deal there and trying to get that fourth base up. But this little kind of... It's a 3-base timing, but it's right after that third base gets up and running that he pulls up, moves out, and says, okay, let's bring this down to one confrontation. You don't want me setting up at your front door, right? If the tanks siege up here, it's basically over. So what you want to do is try to engage before the tanks are sieged up, which actually I'm curious to see if that is what happened. Where did he engage here? Music, come back! If they're sieged up already when the Dragoons jump in. Okay, those siege up. These all siege up. He should have backed out. I know how close it is to his front door, but he should have waited for the tanks to re-unsiege and then re-siege. Because jumping on them when the tanks are already in that siege mode is just... It's not gonna work. I mean, okay, I feel like I'm missing something here because Snow is obviously a bajillion times better at StarCraft than I am. But at the same time, like, I even know that you really shouldn't jump on tanks if they're already sieged up, you know? Pro tips here. Wait for them to, because they can't move, right? They can't move if they're sieged. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Just wait for them to unsiege and move out and catch them when they're unsieged. Do a better job with the timing there. Maybe give yourself some time to make some more zealots. I feel like zealots would have been pretty awesome there, right? There's only 2 okay, there's 3 vultures here and a Goliath, which is fairly bad. But I just feel like there are better opportunities here. Snow, maybe he just panicked a little bit because it's Flash and Flash was coming to kill him. I would panic too if Flash was coming to kill me. Absolutely. So GG. Well done a billion times over there. Out of Flash. He gets the win against the Protoss. He does make TVP look a lot easier than it has any right to be. A lot of Terrans complain about it, Artosis being one of those. By the way, if you missed the Artosis TVP that I cast on Saturday, it's like an hour long, and it's really good. I don't think I gave it an epic test. Maybe I did. Either way, it was a really, really good Artosis TVP. So if you're a fan of this matchup and you're a fan of Artosis, be sure to check that one out. It was Artosis versus like TSL 496297 or whatever. Whatever it is. Man, let's check out that final score and we'll get out of here for your Tuesday. End of the day, 47,000 points there. I'm used to this being 6 digits to 47,000 points. Flash has a little bit more, 5100 to 100 there at the end. Produced is fairly similar, but this kill death ratio is about a 2-to-1 for Flash, which is pretty awesome if you're a Terran, and really what is to be expected. 0 buildings died in an 11-minute game. That is probably to be expected. And then resources spent a little bit even, maybe a little bit more for Flash there, but it's just not, it was not enough time for Snow's third base and fourth base to kick in with that economy that he needed in order to really do this. So taking the fourth base was maybe a mistake. Maybe he needed more zealots, more Dragoons to handle that. I do feel like the DT risk was one that he took. It was calculated. It could have worked. And it didn't, and it really slowed him down on the Arbiter play, and I think that was a big problem too. So that's just, man, you have to take risks if you're playing against Flash, right? You always got to take risks. And he did, and it didn't work out, and that's fine. You can always fight another day. So nicely done. Well done by Flash. What else do we expect? I don't think we expect much of anything else. So that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit this like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.